How y'all doing? I'm back again with another video, and today I'm going to show you how to use a neat little utility called pywal to make your all the colors in your Linux environment, or most of them, match up together. So based on what wallpaper you want to use. So essentially, how this works is you run pywal pointing at an image, and it will set the image as your wallpaper, and then uh, update a bunch of things and stuff like your XRDB for colors, and then generate a bunch of files that integrate with a lot of other programs to sort of make all of the colors match together. Makes the shit look real pretty. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we get started, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you've been enjoying my content, drop me a like, subscribe, and with that, let me show you the goods. So we're over at my terminal, and before we actually get started, so let's look at the wallpaper I have right now. You'll notice that there's certain colors that are kind of more prevalent in here than others. There's a lot of yellow, there's a lot of blue, purple, pinks, and you'll notice that both polybar up here in the top and bottom and my terminal, they use a lot of the same colors. Now, also, if I run neofetch to grab a bunch of system information, you'll see the color palette that's being used by the X resources stuff is right here, and you'll notice that it's oddly similar to the wallpaper colors. Well, that's because this color scheme was generated by this utility called pywal. Now, to get pywal, there's a couple of different ways you can get it. I believe you can. I think you can install it through pip, the Python package manager. And if you're on an Arch-based distro like I am, I believe it's also in the AUR. Yay pywal. I think that's how I installed it. Actually, yeah, that's how I installed it. So once you actually have it installed, what do you do with it? So I'm gonna show you real quick. So let's go into my wallpaper folder real fast, and this folder doesn't have much stuff in it. It's the one down below where I just joined the DistroTube's wallpaper repository that has like hundreds of wallpapers that we'll fuck with to do this. So the wallpaper that it's using right now is called that Synthwave Valley, and I'm just going to give you a very easy way to do this. So once you have it installed, you run it by running wall, and then you do -I, and then you point to the image you want to set as the wallpaper and generate the color scheme from. So I'm just going to use the same one just to show you what the output looks like. So I'm going to run it, and nothing's going to really change, but you did notice it reloaded polybar. There's by default pywal integrates with uh, polybar, and it'll like kill it and reload it when you generate the color scheme, so that way it picks up the new colors. And you'll see it analyzed this image and grabbed some, basically generated a color scheme from it using I think it's called like a color profile, like a color profiler. I think that's what it's called. And what it did is as it said, it generated a bunch of files, and it exported all this stuff to things like XRDB, which XRDB is what a lot of programs use when you're running in an X server environment to grab things like color and font like that. So you notice there's no real difference, but now let me point this at a different image and see what happens. So let's point at the synth city. Let's see what this looks like. Boom, look at that. All of a sudden, all the colors are all matched up with the wallpaper, and the wallpaper's right here. That's really pretty, by the way, isn't it? I love, dude. I love the color and the aesthetic of like the whole like retro synthwave kind of like fad. Uh, it may be just a fad, but I really like the color and aesthetics with it. Uh, so that's the simple, straightforward way to do it. And we'll do a couple other images to kind of show you some examples of what you can get. Let me open up. So the SXIV. This is a image viewing utility from a little group called Suckless, and you can pass it in either an image or a collect or a directory with images. And what you'll get is all the images, and you can look at them in like this thumbnail mode, and you can hit enter and look at them. And you can do some other things too, but by default, you don't do a whole lot with it. But one of the things you can do is set up custom key mappings. And I have a custom, and they are activated by hitting Control X. So, actually, let me get my fat face out of the way. Oop, nope, what did I do? Oh, whoops. Well, I made a boo boo. 1 second. You go back over here. Okay. I pressed the wrong key. Let me see. What was I going to do? Yeah. So you hit Control X just to like kind of like initialize that you're about to run your own custom key binding. And I have a key binding set, by the way, that I basically just straight up yoinked from Luke Smith's config, but I changed it for, well, he has one for pywal, I think, yeah. Um, so if I hit Control X and then W on any one of these, it will use it as the input for pywal to change the wallpaper and change the color scheme, blah blah blah. So let's look at this one. This is pretty. It's got like a lot of nice greens, blues, and orange are kind of like the main colors here. So if I hit Control X W and boom, everything's updated. If I look at the wallpaper, it's the wallpaper, and all the color schemes have been generated. Now, a kind of pet peeve I have with this at first is I may really like the wallpaper, but the color scheme that's generated I may not like so much. Well, luckily you have some variance with that. Um, if we run wall dash dash backend, this will give you a list of Python libraries you can pass into it to use as the color profiler. And these will all actually give you some slight variations of results. I think right now I have the colors and Haishoku modules installed, so I'll show you those as an example. So let's reset this back to the same one that I had before, which is that Synth Valley one. And so we're back to this. Now I'm going to run this with, yeah, let's do that, with the colors module. And you'll see that even though that I'm using the same image, I will get a slightly different color palette generated from it. Or I'll say slightly, it might be actually very different. So this one actually is noticeably different. It seemed to not so much go for the pinks, and it kind of went more towards like the oranges, red in the background. And then if I ran this with Haishoku, I'll get again a completely different color palette. Yeah, so this one kind of leaned more on the purple, and it's kind of more of the ordering too, because the ordering of where these colors get generated in the palette will affect, as you can see, which colors are being grabbed and used where. Let's use another example. Let's go into the DT wallpapers. Let's look at the 0279. Yeah. So let's use this one as a guinea pig too. So let's set that as our target with using the default. The default one, you'll notice that there was one that just said I think wall. That's again, that's like the default color profiler it's going to use. So I'll run this, and you see you can't get like you get a lot of like light blues in this particular order. Now if I run this again with a different backend again, you will see that maybe some of the colors change, but also the ordering of the colors will change. So let's run this. Yeah, so mostly it was the colors orders changing. The colors themselves didn't change much. Let's try the Haishoku one. Yeah, so this one's not going to probably change that much because there's not a lot of variance in the actual wallpaper. Let's look at one that has like a lot of variance. Let's see. This one might have some interesting results. So which one's this one? This is 17. Okay. So let's do the same thing, but we're gonna do 17. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we got some brown and a lot of blues. So let's try it with Haishoku. Okay, now this time I got a lot more variations of brown than there were blue before. And let's try colors. Colors, can't spell. Now this one actually kind of picked up the green. I don't think the other ones really picked up the green at all. Yeah, so there you go. If you have an environment where you kind of want all of the colors to be, kind of synced up, just make everything real pretty like, and kind of be like, look at my cool Linux rice, bro. This is a pretty easy way to do it. Um, you can instead of using pywal, you can explicitly set all of these colors in XRDB yourself. But I'm lazy and I like having everything be like color coordinated, so I'm doing it this way. That's all I got for this video. If you liked it, drop me a like, subscribe. If you think someone else would be interested in it, share. If you have questions, comment down below. I will leave a link in the description to the pywal repository where it has all the documentation you can read. If you want to follow me or shoot the shit on other platforms, I have links down below. If you want to support the channel, which would be amazing, by the way, I have links down below that you can do that as well. With that, y'all come on back now, and I'll see you next time.